Ships don't sink because of all the water that's in the sea that's around them. Ships only sink when the water actually gets inside of the ship itself. Just like you. You right now might be struggling. Maybe there's a lot of adversity going on in your life. Maybe a lot of challenges. And maybe every time you turn on the news, you turn on social media, you see even more, adversity and challenges and negativity and hate. And there's a lot of negativity that's out there. Let's be real. But what you need to focus on the most is this thing right upstairs. You see, just like that quote that I mentioned earlier about the ships, there's plenty of water that's outside of them, but that's not how they sink. They only sink when water gets inside the ship. Just like you, my friend. You can only sink if you let the negativity from the outside affect you on the inside. There's so many times in this journey of life that you, myself, everybody goes through where we get hit with these storms, we get hit with these curveballs, and we think that, man, this is it. Like, how can I persevere? How can I get through this? And this is where you got to have faith. Now, faith, it's hard, right? But you just need a little mustard seed. That's all you need, right? You have to just know, right, that on the other side, you're going to persevere. On the other side, you're going to be able to see that light at the end of the tunnel. On the other side, there's not going to be so much hate, so much, despair, so much perseverance and grinding constantly and challenges and the tribulations. It's not going to be there, okay? And I get it, because right now, you're in a spot of your life where you only see as red, right? And then you go off these feelings, you go off these emotions, and then you start reacting rather than responding. And it's hard because it feels like some days it's, 2 or 3 steps forward, and then other days, right back to square one. And it's this vicious cycle that never ends. I've been there plenty of times. And I'm just going to share with you what has truly helped me out the most. Two particular things that I promise if you take away from today's episode, hopefully, fingers crossed, it will help you through these hard times that maybe you're dealing with right now, okay? For starters, if you guys are brand new to my YouTube channel, welcome. My name is Coach Joe. I'm the CEO and head coach of Heartletics. If you're looking for more information on how to become the best version of yourself, not just physically with losing body fat and building muscle, but also mentally as well, very similar to what we're talking about in today's episode, I have a completely free training guide. You can go ahead and take a look in the description box. If you're watching this down on YouTube, go ahead and download that. You'll learn great tips on how to lose body fat, how to persevere, especially with your own mindset inside that training guide. Here are the two things that we're going to go over. The first thing is this: you need to work on your mindset. And I'm not talking about a practice of, gratitude or self-reflection or meditation or affirmations. This is what I mean by working on your mindset, right? It's having confidence in who you are and realizing here that you are the hero of your own movie. That's it. Like, hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but nobody's going to save you. It's all on you. Right? Sure, you can have people that's going to support you. You can have people that can help you out. But this is a lot on your plate, my friend. Just like how there's a lot on my plate. No one's going to come save me. It means I got to do something about it. Me. I can't wave around a magic wand and, hey, things are going to get better. Just like, hey, if you're fat and out of shape right now and you're struggling with medications, you're never going to get a magic fat loss pill, right? Ozempic ain't going to help you out. It's just like, no. What you need to focus on is taking action. You need to focus on doing the right things, having the right habits, having the right mindset. And that's where it all stems from, is this realization that you are in control of your reality, right? And understanding that working on your mindset, once again, I'm not talking about a practice here. I'm talking more of a thought pattern. I'm talking more of a perseverance and a realization, a different perspective. That's what I truly mean by working on your mindset. Because just because there's a lot of negativity and things going on out there in the world that, hey, maybe we don't like. And maybe every time we turn on the news or social media, we get reminded with all this stuff, whether it's, wars and violences and recessions and crimes and negativity. But remember what I talked about earlier with that ship? The water on the outside does not sink the ship. It's only when the water gets inside of the ship, that's when it sinks. So you need to work on your mindset. You need to have the blinders on and focus on, hey, how do I stay in my lane, right? For starters, when you're staying in your own lane, less drama, that's for sure. But I'm not saying it's just going to be a smooth ride. No, but what I am saying is it's just you. right? And it's focusing on you having this tunnel vision, on you developing a better version of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But you need to stay in your own lane. And you need to work on your mindset, right? You need to have this reflection, right? That, hey, at the end of the day, maybe you are going through hard times. I definitely have my story to tell, for sure, right? But you got to realize this, that as long as you continue to go, right? No matter if it's slow, 2-3 miles per hour, or fast, maybe 30 miles per hour, or 50 or 60 or 100, who cares? As long as you're moving, right? Like, sure, on this path, right? You will be faced with adversity. That's 100% certain. But it's how you perceive it. It's how you look at it. See, there's always going to be these bumps in the road. And how I recommend you perceive it on is growing pains. Just like you got to go to the gym, right? You got to first break down the muscle before it becomes bigger and stronger. It's the same thing with you on this development of personal, right? On this development of you becoming the best version of yourself. Sometimes, hey, life just throws you some curveballs just to make you stronger. Growing pains, right? They're challenging at times. These bumps in the road. And oftentimes, right, we have to look at it just like that. They're just bumps in the road. Now, working on your mindset helps you out so much with having perseverance, having confidence within yourself. And one real small tip here that can help you out is look back in the past. I'm not a big fan of, looking always in the rearview mirror, right? I'm always focusing on the windshield because, hey, it's where I'm driving towards and where I'm trying to get to. That's what I keep, top of mind in my RAS. But what I want you to do, just to help you out, is maybe take a few minutes, spend some time reflecting on the past. Maybe journal and just write this down. What are all the things that you overcame with in your life? Like, this can really help you out with building some self-confidence. Like, maybe you're struggling right now financially, you're struggling right now with your health, you're struggling right now with whatever the case may be, right? I'm sure this has not been the only time you struggled before in your life. So why don't you actually reflect on the past and say, okay, well, I've been through this, I've been through this, I've been through this, I've been through this. And because, right, I didn't give up, because I didn't throw in the towel, I'm now stronger because of that, right? So that could definitely help you out. So remember, the first tip is work on your mindset. It's so important. And, it's just like there's going to be so many things that's outside of your control. So many things that there's nothing you can do about it. But if you're letting it constantly eat you up on the inside, hey, now we got that victim mentality, right? Now it's, oh man, why me? Why is this always happening to me? Instead of taking ownership, right? Instead of taking control of the situation, just saying, hey, I can't affect this. It is what it is. Or, hey, maybe there are some things that I can control in the midst of this, but what can I always control more so than not is how I respond, how I react, my feelings to this, right? And not getting so emotionally tied to the situation because let's face it, sometimes we can't trust our emotions. We can't trust our feelings, right? We start reacting and responding based on that rather than actually having like this, clear tunnel vision in front of us. Things can get a little shady. Things can get a little sticky at times, right? I know that happens plenty of times to me. I'm Italian, right? I'm a hothead. So it's like when I get pissed off, when I get mad and I start just reacting off my emotions, that's not good for anybody else, right? Plain and simple. Not good for myself, not good for anybody around me, okay? So that's the first thing, work on your mindset. Now here's the second thing, right? Is understanding that what you're going through today, it's going to pass. Right? Everything passes. Every storm eventually passes. Every season eventually passes, right? And there's the next season after that. It always happens. History repeats itself, right? I think we can agree on that. But what I would love for you to do is just realize here, and this is what it's all about, right? It's having the realization that what you're going through today is only preparing you for a better version of who you're trying to become tomorrow. That's it. And I'm going to tell you a quick story about myself. Firsthand, how I can honestly say this is 100% true. It's all about how you perceive it, right? Those challenges that you're facing right now, the adversity that you're facing right now, it's all about how you perceive it. And here's the truth. Steve Jobs, and I've said this plenty of times, has one of the best quotes in the world. You can't connect the dots looking forward in life, but you can always connect the dots looking backwards in life. I'm 32 years old. When I was 22 years old, right, so 10 years ago, I wanted to commit suicide. I was in such a deep, dark place. Lots of depression, lots of hurt. All I saw was red, and I did not want to continue living on anymore, And looking back at it now, I'm super grateful that I went through that. I'm super grateful that I went through all the pain, the suffering, the suicidal thoughts, the anxiety, the worry, the depression, the darkness. I'm so grateful I went through that. And here's the reason why. Because I didn't give up, because I didn't end my life, I decided to start working on myself. I was too embarrassed to, go ask my friends and go ask my family, like, hey, I'm dealing with all these thoughts. Like, what should I do? I went to Google. Google led me to, hey, some self-help practices. The first thing I saw on there was yoga. And I said, okay, cool, right? Hot babes at yoga. Let me go check it out, right? So I went to yoga class. And we did the whole meditation scene right afterwards, right? I'll never forget the instructor's name, Amy. I went up to her afterwards, and I was like, man, Amy, I was like, this is the first time I ever took your class, or any yoga class in that form. And I was like, that meditation at the very end was just so enlightening to me because it was all about, all right, I'll never forget this. She said, garbage in, garbage out. Whatever is you are thinking about on the inside, that's what you're going to see on the outside. You can't attract love if you don't love yourself, first and foremost. So focus on you, focusing on, like getting that crap out of you first and foremost before you can actually bring in the light, before you can actually bring the better stuff that you want, right, to manifest into your life first. Work on who you are. And I remember that just kind of really hit me. So I went through this whole personal development journey, because at the time, 10 years ago, this is when I'm, doing MMA, I'm in college, right? Like, I'm great in physical shape is what I'm trying to say. But mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I was very weak, right? Very, very weak. I did not have a personal relationship with God. Emotionally, I let everything affected me. Mentally, sure, I had confidence in my fighting skills and my ability to work out. But, that's just one area, right? Confidence is, very broad. And I was lacking confidence in other areas of my life. So once again, this depression that I was in, this suicidal thoughts that I was going through, it led me to taking that yoga class, which led to the first meditation session I ever did, and which led to me just starting to work on myself, personal development. I started to read more books. I started to journal. I started to make, say affirmations for myself, started going to yoga more often, meditation, the whole 9 yards. I fell in love with who I was. Literally. I remember going to movies by myself. I remember, going to restaurants by myself. I needed to fall in love with who I was. I literally dated myself. And I'm not gonna lie. That was the best time of my life. Right after the worst time of my life, right? Where I wanted to kill myself. Now I'm going into the best stage ever in my life. Looking back, that was the best stage ever in my life. I fell in love with who I was. My self-worth, my self-confidence, self-love, the whole 9 yards. But it was right after all the darkness. And now, 10 years forward, right? I'm looking back and I'm so grateful I had to go through that whole entire storm that I was in. Because here's the reason why. I got to actually see the areas, the flaws, the holes that I needed to actually fill and work on in my life. I got to look back and say, man, you know what? I need to work on being just better, stronger mentally. I need to work on being better, stronger emotionally. I need to work on being better, stronger spiritually, which led to fast forward, me eventually meeting my beautiful wife, having a beautiful family, now going to church, being involved, right? Having this personal relationship with God. My life is great now. And it's simply because the hardships that I went through. So you never know the storm that you're in right now. Maybe this is just the growing pains that you need for a better version of yourself. I mean, if you think about it, right? What happens to a little caterpillar? They have to go through a metamorphosis process, right? They get into their cocoon and dysmorph and all that stuff to eventually become a butterfly. AKA, they die, right? That little caterpillar body dies and they become a butterfly. Shedding of a snake skin, right? They peel off, right? So maybe this version that you're in right now, or I should say this storm that you're in right now, this adversity that you're in right now, it's just the version of you that is slowly dying off. So a better version of you can rise up like a phoenix, overcoming all this adversity. So that way one day you can look back and say, man, I'm so grateful I went through all that. Just like what Steve Jobs says. You can't connect the dots looking forward in life, but you can always connect the dots looking backwards in life. So once again, my friends, whatever you're going through right now, I'm sorry to hear that you're going through some problems. I really am. I'm praying for you. But keep this in mind. You never know that what you're going through right now is actually making you better on the other side of it. And when you start looking at the glass being half full and you start having more faith, more confidence that, hey, there one day will be a light at the end of the tunnel and you will overcome this storm that you're in right now. And all you have to do is focus on taking action each and every day, focusing on, okay, what can I do to just move one step forward? That's it. One step forward. Just show up today. That's it. I promise you, your life is going to get a lot better. And you're going to one day look back and be super grateful for these hard times that you're in right now. I hope you guys got some kind of value from today's episode. I really, really do. Because remember, I've been through a lot of storms in my life. And I know that it's not fun. And I know that, going and crawling through the trenches, like it's hard. And a lot of the stuff with the motivation and encouragement, that might just go in one ear and out the other. And this is where I'm really encouraging you to just wake up. Open up your eyes, open up your ears. Take note of what I just said. And I promise you, it will help you out so much to where you can see the bigger picture in all of this, okay? If you guys did get some value, give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below letting me know your biggest takeaway. And as always, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you did. Guys, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Peace out, Girl Scouts.